Men massively underestimate how important their lifestyle is to their attractiveness. When women are assessing men, they aren't just looking at how good looking is he or how many bloody followers does he have. They want to know who he really is. And there is no better way for a man to display who he is than how he chooses to live his life. Because a man can claim that he values health and fitness, but if he's spending multiple nights a week going for beers with the boys to the pub, having takeaways, maybe occasionally going to the gym once, does that suggest that he is someone that really values his life? Not at all. And that's it. If you want to see what a man values, look at how he spends his time. Because for a man, his time is his most valuable asset. And on top of this, traditionally, women have always stepped into a man's life. That when they used to get married, she would move in with her husband. When he would get a job across country, she would move with him. And whilst I appreciate times have changed, but that underlying emotional drive is still there. Women still step into our lives, maybe not as much as before, but she still knows that if your life sucks, she doesn't really want to become a part of it. So it is vital for men. If you want to get an attractive partner, then it is vital to design yourself an attractive lifestyle. And that comes with 3 core components. I'm going to discuss these. I've broken them down to like 3 levels. And number 3 is quite spicy. And if you master that, you're in a league of your own. So the first level to be able to design an attractive life is just avoiding toxic holes, because there is no point trying to build a grand yacht if there is a hole in the hull. And in the modern day, this is actually probably one of the biggest challenges. It's so easy to fall into all of the toxic traps around us. That is the doom scrolling, the watching porn, constant video gaming, being around genuinely just toxic social groups for you, and just indulging in excessive alcohol and drug use. All of these things will undermine who you are and get in your way. Like for me, growing up, I played way too much FIFA and Call of Duty, and this held me back. I actually regret some of that time that I spent. Not all of it, I had a good time with some of it, but at least a portion was definitely excessive. So I had to give that up. And on top of that, I think through my early 20s, I was definitely spending more time than I should just kind of degenerate drinking, really excessively for no real reason. And both of these things were elements of my lifestyle that were holding me back. And for most men now, it will be one or, if not a bunch of these that are holding you back and causing your lifestyle not to be able to get to a level which is attractive, that people want to join. No girl wants to go out with a guy where his only habits are maybe hanging around with a couple of friends, where all they do is smoke weed together and watch Netflix. It's just not going to happen. Then, level 2. Now we've created a bunch of time because we're no longer getting involved with all of our toxic habits. We need to fill that with something more constructive. And if you're unsure how to go about this, I would actually take a tip from like a movie that came out in the 2000s called like Yes Man. And essentially the premise is he's quite depressed and sad, so he gets encouraged by a friend that he should just say yes to everything for a year. And he goes out, he tries loads of things, and he goes through just like the biggest character development. That's the most extreme version of this, but it's not a bad idea. And it's certainly something that I did through my 20s when I kept finding myself just like, I'm lonely, I can't get a girlfriend, my life sucks, I'm not happy. What it took was just being like, okay then, I guess I'll try and go to a salsa class. I'll go to improv classes. I'll go to a Dungeons and Dragons event in Bulgaria where they did the whole thing in English just for me. Real good. I actually had a great time with that. I have not been back since, but yeah, shout out, that was actually real fun. And then I've been to all different kinds of clubs, just trying and testing things out, badminton socials, tried running, and I did all of these things, listened to new music, watched new films, and all this did was start to cultivate a more interesting lifestyle that wasn't just the standard thing that every other guy around me was doing. And this started to make me more of an interesting person. I ended up settling, I'd say, with running being a major hobby that I still do to this day a lot of. And I love films. going to the cinema. I did a movie review club for ages, and it's just a bit of a passion for me, and just general self-improvement. But because of that, I started to build an interest in life, which helped with the second part of level 2. Start to find friends to really engage with, ones that are good for you, because I know the difference of this. When I grew up, I was in a small town, and the friends around me were not the best. I got severely bullied. I didn't feel like I really connected with anyone. The interests that I had didn't seem to align, and that made me just a much more insecure person. I didn't feel very good about myself because the people around me didn't project anything positive towards me. So I often then reflect of how big of a leap it was. When I left university, I ended up making friends with just a bunch of new people that valued the idea of being different. They were unique, they had all different hobbies, they spoke different languages from different nations. And I loved that, and it brought out the best in me. There are two different versions of me. There is the one that stayed at home, the one that never left, who would have been sad and depressed for ages. Am I about to get ran over? Yes. Okay, so we're gonna dodge and avoid that. You've got me on holiday. And then there is the other version of me, the version that went to university, the one that you see in front of you, the one that has been able to get the social groups that you always wanted. Okay, not getting ran over. And I basically built the person that I really wanted to be off the back of that friendship group. It was so vital. And this is important because I've spoken to a lot of girls. One of the funnest questions to ask when I'm in a group of girls is just like, what are their red flags for guys? And like exchanging what mine are for girls. So much fun. And oftentimes it usually comes up, oh, it's his friends. If he doesn't have any friends, red flag, no one wants to be around him. Secondly, if all his friends are losers, because it's like the idea, what is it? You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But I like this version even more, which is, you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Because that is what it is. The people around you have such an impact on who you are. So for men, it's vital to actually have a quality group of friends that can support you, help you engage with the world. So that's your level 2, right? Level 3, and this one is where we get a bit funkier. This is where you give yourself kind of just like the philosophical direction in life. You don't allow yourself, you gear yourself to be towards the positive, and you don't allow yourself to be resentful. And this often occurs in one very key way in modern life. And that is, don't do a job that you hate. Because this is quite common now. And if you think about it, if I have to work myself up every day to go to a job that I really don't like, my boss is a tyrant, my colleagues are awful, I genuinely find no purpose in what I do, I'm forcing myself day after day to go back to this job, and it's making me be resentful. It's making me not like myself very much because I'm forcing myself to have to do this. It's making me feel just resentment, and it's the only way around that is for me to numb my own emotions to how actually miserable this job makes me feel. And too many men fall into that trap. I'm not saying, sometimes it's not that great, but I'm like, if you genuinely hate it, if you genuinely dislike it, that's not gonna fly. Like, everyone doesn't have to follow their bliss and open up a yoga studio on a mountain. Like, we don't have to be that. Great if that's you. But just don't be in a position where you hate your job. Look for a move to a company where you feel like you align better. But don't be in a position where the main thing that you do each week is something that you resent. It will leave you with a toxic mindset. It will show up. She won't want to be a part of that because she knows what's going to happen for the next 40 years. You come home or work from home and you're just miserable, and she has to spend her time next to some miserable sod who takes it out on her that he couldn't get off his arse and get a career that he really wanted. A man's job is so key to his identity, so don't do something you really dislike. Don't do things you hate. It's not a good idea. Then it's starting to find some level of purpose and direction. And as I say, that can come in work. But maybe for you have a job that's not bad, like you engage with it. It's maybe not like the be all end all for you, but you really do like it and it pays you well. You enjoy it enough. but then you find something else in your life that you really care about. Like, I know a bunch of guys that are massively into running, and they just spend their life like running different marathons, traveling to do these things, have these events. They have something going on that they're wanting to do. They have a side project. I know someone that's like writing a book, and they engage massively with that. They make music, whatever it is, but have something that gives your life direction. Because without an aim, without a direction, without a purpose, men really start to crumble. And like, I could tell that. For me, I'm speaking from personal experience. Like, I grew up, and for a long time, I thought I was just going to be in finance forever. I was a financial analyst, and it didn't hit the spot. And I was quite moody. It never really sort of shone very well out of me when I talk about work. And that's because I was just not very happy, realistically. And that's not a good place to be. Don't allow yourself to become resentful. And the final part of level 3 is starting to establish some values to what you want in the world, because they show up in your lifestyle. As I said in the beginning of this, if you value health and fitness, then show it. Show it and go to the gym, do these things. For me, I've started to create a level of obsession, for lack of a better word, with the idea of telling the truth. For me, I realised, big shout out to Jordan Peterson, it changed my life at the moment where I realised that anytime you tell a lie, that is just a boomerang that is cast out into the world. It is coming to get you. One of my favourite quotes from him is that he was a clinical psychologist and worked directly with people for like 30, 40 years. He said he'd never seen a lie that didn't come back to hurt somebody. Like, it always comes back. It might not be in the form that you think. Maybe it's that you accidentally dinged into someone's car and you drove off and you felt like you got away with it. But then you've got to deal with the regret, the thoughts that were around, the wondering if you're going to get caught. And that gets you distracted, and it makes you kind of on edge. And then you're a bit snappier at the people around you. Every single time we choose to lie, whether it's by directly lying to someone, not owning up, a lie of omission, ignoring something that we should have said, it always comes back to haunt us. And this is a value that I've committed to. Whatever you are looking for in your life, you will have values, whether they are fitness, friendship, family. I have a friend that's committed to looking after his family really, really well. I respect that because he stands for something. His lifestyle stands for something. And that's what is truly attractive. This is what women want to see. Genuinely, a man's lifestyle is just so key to who he is. Side note, that's why your lifestyle photos are always the ones that do best on dating apps, rather than just like selfie. They don't care. They don't tell a girl anything. She wants to know who you are. And a man shows who he is through the life that he chooses to live, because that's real. That's in the actual world. It's not the weird words that he throws out into the world. It's how he behaves. It's what he does, whether he owns his shit. So, if you want to go through these stages and you want to start developing your lifestyle, because you know that will help you get the results you want in dating, then if friendship is the key step, like, I've got the video for you. As I said, transforming my friends was one of the biggest things for me, and being able to connect with people that I truly wanted to. So if you still need to achieve that, check out this video here where I give you the ultimate friendship formula to get as many friends as you could wish.